Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I apologise straight off the bat because this is take 2 of this video. I recorded it, file got corrupted, so I need to do it again. I really enjoyed making it the first time and I feel like I'm just going to miss out a lot of the same points. But unless you've been sleeping under a rock all day and you're just up, you've probably seen that the demonstration down at Celtic Park this morning, the banner unveiled by the Green Brigade towards Neil Lennon and the Celtic board. A clear message that kind of sums up every sort of, well, any certainly the younger aspect of the Celtic supporters' thoughts this season. I'm going to give my opinions on it all, talk about Neil Lennon's feedback to it, because it's a really divisive subject in a minute. It's got a lot of people talking, not just within our own fan base, but the opposition fan base as well. So it's going to be fun. I'm sure this one's going to leave a few dislikes below, but we'll get right into it after the intro. It's been a long time since something like this, so vocal, has came across and divided Celtic Twitter and Celtic social media the way that it has, and just divided Celtic fans in general. Of course, we've been very vocal this year on whether or not we believe Neil Lennon is the right man for the job. A lot of people sticking by him, believing he is the man who can turn this ship around. The dreadful start to the season can still be recovered. And the people like me and the vast majority of us, I believe, who believe his time is up and it looks as though the ship has sailed for Neil Lennon. And that was echoed today by the Green Brigade this morning down at Celtic Park. It's got a lot more coverage today than normally we would get on the likes of Sky Sports News and the radio and all the rest of it. Usually it's straight on to Sean Dyche's post-match press conference for Burnley versus Brighton. But today we were the headline news. They were showing off the banner in all its glory. They were giving Neil Lennon's reaction to it in his press conference. But it's something that I feel like was needed. It's something that's important, and despite the backlash it might be getting off of some, it's something that we can't demonstrate right now in a stadium. You know, I'm sure all of us that are disgruntled and all of us who believe there should be change would have been given that impression off in the ground this year if we could, but sadly we can't. You've got a group like the Green Brigade who are standing up now and knowing that they will take the flag, have went down and then displayed it to the board and outside Celtic Park, if they pay attention, that is, if the board are listening. It seems they don't listen on social media. It seems they don't listen to the reaction of Celtic fans and towards the concerned state of the club at the moment. So we need things like this, and fair play to the Green Brigade for being the ones who are standing up and ready to take the hit on social medias from opposition and such, laughing at them when it's quite a serious matter, a matter that, you know, we need to speak up with at some point. Either that, the rest of the season could keep going the way it has been already. So if we can't do it in the ground and they're not listening to social media, where else are we going to do it? Let me touch on the Green Brigade very quickly, because I know a lot of people are going to be saying this in the comment section to me. What are your thoughts on the Green Brigade? What are your opinions? And I've touched on it very briefly before. I don't feel like I need to come on here and give my opinion of other people, other human beings who go on with their life the way they want. You know, I respect the Green Brigade. I like them. They're the guys who get the stadium going. They bring the atmosphere, and they have done for years. And without them, the place is a kind of dire affair at times, to be quite honest. Also do a lot of good things in the community. You see the food bank stuff they do and the food collections, charity work and such. They do a lot of good things as well. And a lot of people do have negative opinions on them, but that's their business. And as I'll say at the end of the video, probably opinions are like arseholes. Everybody's got one. And I don't feel like whether I like or dislike the Green Brigade comes into any sort of meaning here in this video. I feel like it's just me giving my views on the banner and giving whether I agree or not, and then Neil Lennon's response. So I'm getting that out of the way before people start piling it in the comments section. What's your opinions? And starting to conspire or whether or not I like them or I'm sitting with them every week. I have my own seat, I sit with my own pals, that's all you need to know. But well done to the guys for starting up today and taking the banner down to Parkhead. So if you follow me on Twitter, you'll already know that I have given my opinion, kind of very briefly anyway, on this situation today. But for the people who have missed it, basically the Green Brigade down outside the main stand this morning with a banner simply saying "Save the 10, time to go Neil." A statement was released alongside it from the fan group saying Neil Lennon and many of the current Celtic squad have delivered unprecedented success for our club and deserve enormous credit for their achievements. However, past accomplishments are not good enough to excuse the level of performance and lack of desire we have endured throughout this momentous season. Despite having the best squad in the country, the football on display has been dismal, lacking in ideas and belief. Many of our best players have disappointed, and we have performed poorly both domestically and in European competition, winning only 2 games from our previous 8. A shocking stat in itself, to say the least. Whilst we would love nothing more to see Neil Lennon win us the championship, we are part of a growing element of the Celtic support that have sadly concluded that he is unable to turn our season around. And it's a perfectly put statement, to be honest, because it echoes everything that not only me but other Celtic fans, but on this channel, for me especially, I have tried to say all season. I've tried to echo, look, I would love nothing more than Neil Lennon to be the man to finish off a fantastic 10 years and lift that 10 in a row trophy. But the man is in serious jeopardy of ruining a legacy that he's left at Celtic. I absolutely adore Neil Lennon. And for those who have missed me saying it, Neil Francis Lennon, I love the guy. He's a Celtic icon, legend if you like, as a manager and a player, but he's so close to tarnishing it all. And we want him to leave the club. We want him to go out of respect. We're not demanding he goes out of nastiness, out of something bitter. It's out of respect for the club that he loves and adores, knowing that there is a severe lack of ambition and moving forward at the moment. It doesn't look we're going to under Neil Lennon, and that's why we want him to leave. We're not wanting him to leave out of any other reason. Of course it's not been good enough, and that's the main reason, of course. It's not been good enough, but if we keep going the way we're going, it's going to ruin what is meant to be the most historic season in Celtic's modern history. And that is why fans asked me to walk. I've gave my opinion. I am on side with the banner, and you don't need to second guess that. You can probably guess by the way I'm talking. But someone has to stand up and say it. We need to make our voice be known. There's a lot of people getting slack for it. For their opinions on it today and agreeing with it. Look, when other clubs up and down the country, not only in Scotland, but in Scotland, England, mainland Europe, Germany, everywhere, when we see fan bases stand up to their boards, to their managers, you remember Newcastle with the Ashley out, a lot of times in Germany you see protests going on because they're very pure football purists. You know, you see people at other clubs in England, remember Wenger out was happening a lot of the time. Fans up here especially, and especially Celtic fans, we're always first up to stand and clap and say, well done, you're standing up for your club, that's what you want to see, it's about the fans, blah blah. But as soon as now we do it, you see a lot of backlash coming out. So what's the difference? We're standing up for our club, we're trying to make our voices be heard in the hardest of times, yet they're still getting so much criticism. And also in terms of opposition fans, something I just want to throw in very, very quickly. A lot of people putting up the photos, and this is, I love Neil Lennon because he's had it tougher than anybody in this country's history, arguably. He's came in this country to play and manage football. He's had bullets sent through his door. He's had death threats. He's had people attacking him in the street. He's had people attacking him on the bloody touchlines. He's had such a tough gig of it. He's went through so much. He's a warrior of a guy, right? But a lot of people, especially Rangers supports, putting up the photo of a banner a few years ago we had saying, Neil Lennon, you'll never walk alone. I think that was along the lines. And then putting it in contrast with today's banner outside the stadium. Number one, I just want to go back to the point that I said earlier on in the video and saying that, yes, this is not out of a nastiness sort of thing. It's out of respect for the club, and we're saying it out of respect for Lennon too. So that's number one. We're not, you know, exactly, we're not doing the prior things I've already mentioned that's happened to Neil Lennon. But number two, it was only a matter of a few years ago, that Rangers fans were wearing bread wrappers on their head in the stadium because Mark Warburton was apparently the second coming of Jesus Christ himself. And then only a few months later, they were demanding for him to be sacked, and he was sacked. Football changes, opinions change. I've gave my opinion on it, and it's very simple. This is a necessary message for the Celtic board, and it's something that is kind of unifying the fans' opinion at the moment. The vast majority of us are in the same bandwagon. A lot of us have the same sort of thought towards Neil Lennon being the right man to carry Celtic forward. It was necessary. I'm reading from my own tweet here just so I remember what I was saying. I do understand the Celtic fans who believe it's a personal attack on Neil Lennon and they think he doesn't deserve it, but it's not that. It's really not. We want Lennon to walk out of respect for the club. There's no much more I have to add to that. I've already said it. It's not a direct threat. I'm sure many people will applaud Neil Lennon for the job that he has done as Celtic boss over his 2 tenures, but now is the time for change. And if we don't act now and we accept mediocrity now, that's where we'll regret it. And the people who are willing to back Lennon right now, they will regret it come the end of the season. I'm telling you. If we keep with Lennon in charge, say Rangers do stop 10 in a row, then you look back and go, why was I not part of that voice? Why did I not think it then? because we will accept the mediocrity, and that will be the end of what was a chant of 10 in a row for 10 years just in the pan. You know, you can't accept mediocrity in times like this, and right now a lot of the support are willing to do that. And for me, it's not on. That's why I've changed my opinion on whether Neil Lennon's the right man for the job or not, and why I have been very vocal on the Lennon outside of things recently. I do adore the guy, but it is time for change, and this is a banner that just, it goes to show for the majority of Celtic support, and that's just the reality of it. I feel a lot of the opposition feedback on it is clutched at straws a little bit hypocritical, but you know what, it happens. You know, it's a point scoring competition at all times between our two sides. I won't hide away for that. All of us are guilty of it at some point. But the reaction towards the banner from Neil Lennon himself, he did speak about it in his pre-match press conference today ahead of Prague tomorrow, saying, you know, it's an element of the Celtic support that aren't with him, but he believes he is the man to turn it around, and he'll show that. But you see Scott Brown talking right after it, when he comes on, he says, after seeing it, they need to start playing for the manager. Underline, bold, italics, start. Start playing for the manager. Does it take this long and something like this to make you start playing for the manager? Should we not always be playing for the manager? Why is it only now we're waking up? And that for me is very telling and says all as to what this season has been, if this is now the point where we are starting to play for the manager. Because we've had a banner displayed. We should be playing for the manager at all times, man. And I don't blame the players for that completely. I think there has got to be a joint sort of responsibility there. I think, you know, the manager has to take a cut of it. The players have to take a cut of it because they're not playing for the manager. But it's up to the manager to inspire. It's up to the manager to command the changing room to get them playing their best for him. And he's not done that. He's looked defeated all season. You hear him in the press conferences. He's been, you know, throwing players under the bus at times. He's not sounded great. A lot of the things he's saying are just very, very questionable. But now the word starts being used, this doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't at all. And a lot of people were saying, oh, don't look into it too much. He's on the spot talking at a press conference. It's just a phrase he's thrown out there. But still, it's not what you want to hear. Start playing for the manager now in November. Come on, man. We need change at the come. We've got to wake up to it. The people who haven't, come on. It's clear as day, the body language, the facial expressions, the energy levels, everything from the game against Hibs on Saturday showed it perfectly, for God's sake. That's my opinion, I suppose. A lot of people won't agree with me. And that's the reality of it. I've got to be willing to take that, and I'm willing to take it. I'm willing to see the people who don't agree with me in the comment section. I'm willing to hear them out, and I respect everybody's opinions at the end of the day, but I do believe firmly that this banner was the best message we can send as to what we're thinking at the minute. And if we want the board to wake up and see what the fans' willingness to back a manager, this is how we have to do it. Because we're not in the stadiums. We're not there. It's going to be an interesting few weeks now. It really is. He's got a big few games ahead of him. Very happy that the next two games are not, or three of the next games, the next three games even aren't in the league, because I feel like, you know, dropping more points behind before, maybe forcing a change would be dreadful. But will there be change? That's the question. Jim White was on the radio this morning talking apparently Eddie Howe is playing golf with Peter Law. Jim White probably talking that indeed. Jim White. But the rumours out there. He's a better source than your dad's pal who's going to tell you. So, but still like that, is it really a better source? Look, it's a real mess of a day, and it's been a mess of a season. Just kind of sums it all up. But I understand the kind of disgruntled fans. I understand the banner, and I'm completely on board with it. As is many, because it's the only voice we've really got right now. I have my voice on YouTube. How far does that go? Not very. So let's just be honest about it all. I love Neil Lennon, I do. And I had one reply to the tweet that was saying, look, the banner itself is only targeting Neil Lennon. What about the board? What about the players? And I understand that. We've criticised the board enough as it is over the past few years for lack of ambition, spending, everything else. The players need a kick up the arse, of course, but it all comes from one place, and it starts at the manager. We need change. But the video itself was on the banner. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm sure this will get a few dislikes, shares and all the rest of it. I was expecting to see myself on Twitter later on, but am I bothered? Nah. So a good laugh at it. Regrets? Nah, it's a good laugh at it. But aye, like and subscribe if you have enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.